ya? So glad you came out. So what? We had a few showers, no big deal. It's not going to shower now. Enjoy. What a wonderful evening for you to show up. That we've got an unusual concert planned for you. Unusually good and full of variation. You see that I've had a bunch of string players in the front of the band. All right? And yeah! Oh, and string band. We've expanded our audience pool as well. The Garden City Strings are guests of the Missoula City Band, and there'll be a couple of tunes we do together, and then we're going to do tag team back and forth. And if Ron and I can get through that little aisle right there, he'll come up and Don and I, he'll conduct, and I'll conduct. So between the two of us, we might be able to pull the concert off. I don't know. I'm winded already. Hey, and to help us kick all of this off, will you please rise and sing along with Colleen Rosbarsky, our lovely vocalist. Say hi to Colleen. And here is Colleen with us, and that we did that one together. We'll also do the finale number and a couple of tunes that Don arranged just for this event of us being combined. That's a real nice sound. This is like going to Symphony in the Park, yeah. Without all that mobbing crowd in the hot sun. Look at that. Well, we have to start the year off with a sad note that what we'll get out of our way to get it out of our system and fill this year though. Our longtime trumpet player, Dick Johnson, passed finally. You remember, many of us remember, Dick played in the city band for more than 50 years. He just kept hanging in there. He had three different times he went back in and put a new pacemaker in. And then he lost his sight for the most part. That's okay, he played really well, by ear. So Dick could just fake it. What finally did it for him, he couldn't hear worth a damn. And his stand partner, Janelle, who's ill tonight, dang it, would help him know what's going on. He finally had to stop playing with us. He decided to stop playing with us. I never said, Dick, you can't come here anymore. What kind of fool would I be? Well, 15 years ago, we wrote this arrangement. Bill Roach wrote this arrangement in honor of Dick. He was 102 when he passed. So, yeah, he had a nice line on it. And you're welcome to remember Dick. He was always a standmate of our old announcer, George Goodrich, and he was just such a gentleman. He and George always sat second, third chair trumpet. Always, because they wanted to play the first part. They didn't want to be responsible for the solos if they didn't. So they always had a young buck sit first chair, and then they point to him. Well, okay, you take it. All right, you take it. So both of them, they were such a lovely pair. Oh my gosh. He's a jolly good fellow. He was a jolly good fellow. a bevy of trumpet players down to play for his 100th birthday down in Florence. That almost killed him. And now, to share with you, just to assuage my bloated ego that matches my stomach, quite possibly the most famous march in American history, aside from John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Road. It's no longer, anyone younger than 50 doesn't even know the tune exists. The company doesn't use it anymore. They use a crappy little scalar pattern that I tried to teach the band. They looked at me sideways. What is that crap? Gillette, the best a man can get. That's it. That's all they use anymore. When they began, they had this wonderful composer who went to school at Washington State, wrote their fight song, moved to Los Angeles and was a professional composer for the studio for NBC, which was owned by the General Electric Corporation, which translates into GEC, which is to look sharp, got to be vigilant. Above the stars. No. Hey, Don and I are going to play tag right now. No. Hey, since we're going to all be listening to the Garden City Strings right now, we're sending out our pickpockets. You know, our wonderful our wonderful folks who volunteer. We appreciate your contributions. The city gives us a little bit of money, and we're grateful to them for doing that. But we also collect. Last week we gave you a freebie, so you can double up right now, okay?
How about a round of applause for Gary Gillette? He's been doing this for a few years now. Yeah, Gary. On behalf of the Garden City Strings, I'd like to thank Gary for inviting us to perform, and we really appreciate the city band for allowing us to share the concert. We are Garden City Strings, who came around about 2019, due to a class at the University of Mullen. Is Margaret out there? Margaret Baldridge. Margaret, are you out there? She's hiding. Margaret was the one that she's a professional violinist here in town with the symphony, and she started the class. And some of these members, the originals, if you raise your hand, if you're an original member, back in 2019, they got together and it was a class. And they had so much fun, they decided, well, let's make this into a larger ensemble. So since 2019, even during COVID, we've been meeting together and we play all sorts of different music. We will play some classic stuff. We'll play one classic thing, and then after that, we'll just kind of change the pattern a little bit. The first piece we're going to play is written and arranged by our wonderful cellist, Mr. Ron Wilcott. It is, give Ron a round of applause. Yes. Ron wrote this based upon, this was King George II's coronation back in the mid-1700s. George Frederick Handel wrote this, and we call it the finale. So we hope you enjoy our first piece. Thank you. Thank you. I've been involved as a conductor for almost, I think we're getting close to a year here. And when I came in, I thought, okay, we're going to be playing some chamber ensemble music. I had no idea of the amount of repertoire we had in our folder. We have over 120 songs, and you name the style, it's there. So we're going to play one of those for you. We're going to play a Zydeco two-step for you. Some Louisiana blues with a little bit of country fiddling. You're going to hear Leslie playing a little bit of hand drum as well as a washboard. I don't have a washboard, but she has a wash tie, so that kind of counts for us. So we hope you enjoy our Zydeco two-step.
Thank you.
you so very, very much.
Hey, and the band was in such good behavior. All those years of teaching school, during that kind of time with some school kids, I would have had to stand up and give them ugly faces, redirect them. Part of the neat thing about this arrangement, we haven't heard each other play our repertoire. The stuff we did together, and then we excused the string players so they wouldn't have to sit around the rest of our rehearsal. So it worked out fine because the band people were, and Zydeco, Leslie, you can sit with us anytime. Between the little beatbox and her tie at Zydeco, we always have some Zydeco that come and play our River Roots Festival later on. It's not there, at least at the Folk Festival over in Missoula during July. During rehearsal, before rehearsal, I met Leslie. I probably met her before, but she was off stage, and I looked over, and she looked so much like my sister. My sister's in a hospital in Florida. And I got very distracted trying to figure out what the hell my sister was doing here. I'm feeling bad. I thought I should stop what I'm doing and go over and talk to her, to make sure that she knows that she's well. She's not my sister, but she is now. Hey, someone dropped a ring. It fits on my pinky, and it's got moon and stars on it, and it rotates on itself. And if you don't come pick it up, then I got myself a pinky ring. Well, you don't have to do it now. I'll be around afterwards, talking my book, as a matter of fact, our book. If you want, I wrote a history of the city band years ago, and all proceeds go to the Missoula City Band. It's the history of the Missoula City Band, and it's a fun little read, and I can make you a case discount yet. You let me know. Thanks, Corey, for picking their pockets, and thank you for giving. We appreciate it. In honor of the fellow that I preceded, no, he preceded me. I proceeded him. English language confuses me. That Alex Stephensoff was the band director here for 100 years. He did it for 50 years. All right, and this band shell is named after him. Even though we made a memorial band shell before he had passed, he never got that, or at least never said anything about it. He was a colorful old fellow. Owned the Bonton Bakery. Those of us old enough to remember that bakery. And he married into money and ran that bread company as a ruse because all he ever wanted to do was be a band director. He wasn't much of a band director. He was a better businessman and a great comedian and storyteller. He ran this band and kept it going after the war. This was his favorite tunes. He'd always say that at the first rehearsal of the city band of the season, say, and now here we all together, we are all old comrades. And this is Carl Tyke's Old Comrades, written by a good barbarian fella who tried to get it published. They offered him $12 for it. He was working for the military. They gave him $12. He quit and became a policeman instead. Here it is, Old Comrades. about 10 points slower than the usual American marches. They go on forever and ever and ever. And all the brass players are glad that the next tune will give them a little bit of a break. We're so lucky and glad to have Colleen Rosbarsky with us again this year. Colleen, say hi to Colleen. She's off on her way to Fort Peck. She's doing the summer theater up in that huge facility up in Fort Peck all summer long, or at least part of the summer. And that's why she's here on our first concert to get her in before she takes off. Her father-in-law wrote this arrangement, Mike Rosbarsky, back in the baritone section. Mike put the bird in your eye. I bet it was Mike's idea to have you sing with us this year. Yeah, I'm thinking it was, okay, which is good. And you've heard her sing it before. If you remember or not, I can't remember what I had for breakfast, but as soon as she starts singing, you go, oh yeah, baby. So, Mike's arrangement, this is Colleen on All That Jazz. Hold on to your socks, kids, if you're wearing socks.
That
getting set up, I thought we'd be great. It's fun to play just with the band and the strings, but I convinced Gary, twisted his arm, and he agreed that I'd write a few arrangements for the band. And this one here is a movie theme from the movie The Mission, and the piece is entitled Gabriel's Oboe. And when I wrote it originally for the strings, I had this idea to put it on the concert, and we are going to feature our wonderful oboist from a city band and our community band. Kathy McCoy is going to join us with the strings. We're going to play a wonderful piece entitled Gabriel's Oboe. Enjoy. Another change of pace. This is entitled Fiddler's Fortune. Oh, wait a minute. I have to stop for a second. We have something that's very special. Doesn't happen too often. Our first violinist, Audrey, and her husband, Lauren, just celebrated their 55th wedding anniversary. Yeah. I actually gave a shout out to Lauren. I said, I can't believe you were married to a musician for 55 years. That's pretty amazing. And yeah, he kicked me, or I think Audrey kicked me. But even more than that is they both celebrated their 80th birthday together. So congratulations, Lauren. Where are you at? You're out there somewhere. Lauren, congratulations. Okay, Fiddler's Fortune. This is a tune that has three different fiddle tunes in here that are really kind of folk songish. And we're going to play them. You're going to hear every instrument gets to be featured, whether they like it or not. They are going to have a lot of fun playing this tune. And this is entitled Fiddler's Fortune.
Oh my God!
Thank you. Now we're going to combine the band and the strings together. The first piece we're going to do is only using part of the band. It's a wonderful Beatles tune titled Yesterday. Now, I don't know all the filler lyrics, but the Beatles, John Lennon and Paul McCartney, would always usually write the music first, the melody, and then all of a sudden they would go, we need a filler title. So the filler title they used was Scrambled Eggs. I can't make it up. It's something like scrambled eggs. Oh, how I love your scrambled eggs. I like them much better than your legs, but I really like your scrambled eggs. Look it up. I would love to tell you I'm making it up, but I am not making that up. I guess it's British humor, right? So you're going to hear, this is, you're going to hear a flute solo from Nikki. You're going to hear a short oboe solo from Kathy, and you're going to hear the winds. And this is the John Lennon part, Paul McCartney's Yesterday. Enjoy. Thank you. Garden City Strings also has another alias title. We love tangos. I don't know how many tangos we have in our book, but we have a lot and they enjoy playing them. So we agreed to play this one and I arranged it for the band. So Tango de Amor is the title. It's funny because it's a French title to a Argentinian style music. So and this was written by a composer in Texas. Go figure. I don't get it. So enjoy Tango de Amor, and this is going to feature everyone on the stage.
Insisted that I tell you the origin story of Montana. So if you heard it before, I'm sorry, but it's worth it. Good to have our sound guy back. Jay, look at he's hanging up here. He's been hit by a truck, but who hasn't? And Ron Scholl, thanks so much for MCAT. We even checked the law and everything. Everything's legit. So in the dead of winter, you can tune in to MCAT and watch us out here this beautiful evening. Oh my gosh, what a gorgeous day. Okay, Montana. The fellow who wrote "Hello my baby, hello my darling, hello my rag" came and played Butte. He's a popular singer, Broadway, Tin Pan Alley kind of fella. And after he sang New York, New York as well. And someone at the reception afterwards, some Butte gal, we'll call her a gal, approached him and said, "Hey, you sang that beautiful song about New York. How come you don't sing something about Montana?" And he went, "Well, there isn't anything." And indeed, the bet was placed. The singer, the piano player, and the lyricist went off to the parlor with drinks in hand and came up with our state song. right? And then the next night they played Helena, and they were called back for 8 encores. Now, the best thing about the song is the chorus, which is the only thing we do. We do the intro, then we do the chorus, and you're welcome to sing along with. Look at Colleen's joining us again. Thank God. She's gonna make us play it once ourselves, and then we're gonna sing it twice through. And you can sing along with Colleen, but what you also have to do is stand up and clap because it's our state song. Thank you so much. Garden City Strengths, thanks for joining us on stage. Colleen Rosbarsky.